Now we're going to talk about the engineering awareness, when to stop and escalate. So it's engineering awareness. And in our typical course, we would do engineering, which is full calculations of the drivers, the wire size that we're using to put together engineering package that at least mentally or on paper that this is the system we're going to use and everything's going to work. For now, I'm just going to discuss some rules of thumb. So there's some common rules of thumbs trap that I want you to be cautious about when you hear, such as the driver can handle it. We've always sized it that way. It's within spec. We didn't max it beyond 80% of its capacity. It's fine, so we'll split the load if needed. Now, these phrases are or hide unexamined assumptions. So yes, you could follow spec. Remember, the manufacturer tests in his own ideal environment. If you fail to read the fine print, you could put that device at risk. And then I'll give you a quick scenario. So we've had LED driver in a roof, up in the ceiling in an accessible space, but it was just galvanized. There wasn't much installation, and there was so much heat that the operational temperature pushed the driver out of the normal working parameters, and the drivers kept on blowing until we went up in there and took a measurement and realized, whoa, it's really hot in here because there's no insulation. Now we're based in the Caribbean, so this happened. So we have to be very thorough. So the margin feels thin, it probably is. So it's always important to do your checks and ask yourselves these critical questions. So one, is the decision based on calculation or habit? Two, if the conditions change slightly, is there still margin? Three, would I be comfortable defending this choice a year from now? Four, do we have the correct wiring layout that'll minimize voltage drop? Five, do I have the correct wiring that considers the maximum serial connection of the LED linear lights? Now remember that diagram I showed you and showed you that on each light has a different maximum serial connection. So am I comfortable in those things? Now, if the answers to 3, 4, and 5 is maybe, then escalation is justified. So we've seen installs where everything was technically within spec, but longer cable runs and environmental heat combined to push the system beyond the safe limits over time. Now, the failure wasn't immediate, it was inevitable. Now, remember this. I hear this over and over again. Look, it's working. It works. It works. Yes, we know it works. The purpose of this is to ensure that it works forever, for a long time. That is going to build your reputation, increase your profit margins because you don't have to go back to rework. And then you're probably going to say, well, they have to pay for it. Eventually people are going to know the truth between a good install and a bad install.